Rich? All right, thank you. So thank you for being here. Good morning. We are... Okay, great. So everybody can come up. I just want to introduce everybody here so you know who everybody is. This is City Attorney Barbara Parker. We have... yeah, thank you. Attorneys from our Neighborhood Law Corps program, Justin Nishioka and Greg Miner, and the director of the Neighborhood Law Corps program, Rich Ilgen. Deirdre Hodges, our paralegal. On this side, Mr. Rafael Casanova, who has experience with American Legal Services, will make a few remarks. Jesse Newmark is an attorney from Centro Legal de la Raza, and Bianca Sierra Wolf is the executive director of Centro Legal, and Anna Henderson Arjona is also worked on this case when she was here in our office. So we'll open up for questions after the conference, and we also will have a reception afterwards, which the press is of course invited to, and there are donuts. So with that, City Attorney Parker.
Does this need to stay?
That's a recorder.
Okay. Those are my remarks. Good morning. As Alex said, my name is Barbara Parker, and I am the Oakland City Attorney. I have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little gravelly. We are here today to announce the verdict in a lawsuit against a criminal enterprise. This enterprise, American Legal Services, preyed upon some of the most vulnerable members of our community, immigrant families who were seeking legal residency in our country. This enterprise had 3 fraudulent offices in Oakland. The company and its owners held themselves out to be lawyers, specializing in immigration law. But in fact, none of them were attorneys. They were scam artists. They stole thousands of dollars from these families who were seeking help, sometimes their entire life savings. And their victims sometimes ended up in deportation proceedings due to these botched immigration workers. So in 2010, when this came to our office's attention, we filed a lawsuit against ALS and the Alameda family that owns it. The case was handled by the Neighborhood Law Corps attorneys in our office, some of whom you have already met, and I will announce them again. After we filed the lawsuit, 3 of the storefronts that were operating, of those 3, 2 closed. And we searched for them, but we understand that some of the owners allegedly fled the country. But today is a very happy day because I'm here to announce that on November 7th, Alameda County Superior Court Judge Kimberly Colwell issued a $15.1 million judgment against ALS and its owners. This is the largest award our office has ever secured in an affirmative suit. And it is also the largest award under the Immigration Consultants Act, as far as we know. We're also entitled under this judgment to attorney's fees, which will be in the range of $350,000 or more. And importantly, this judgment imposes a permanent injunction that will shut down this kind of business operation by ALS forever. This week, we served the injunction papers on the final office that was running this scam on 3230 Fruitvale Avenue. So I'm very proud, as I said, of the superb work that the Neighborhood Law Corps attorneys did on this case. And I want to give a shout out to each of them. First, Jesse Newmark, who left us, not for greener pastures, but for likewise wonderful pastures, who started this case when he was a Neighborhood Law Corps attorney. And then I second want to recognize Justin Nishioka, who inherited this case and then rushed and passed and pushed it over the finish line. I also want to recognize Greg Miner, who worked on the case and was instrumental. Richard Ilgen, who was the supervising attorney overseeing and is still overseeing the unit. And Deirdre Hodges, one of our law clerks, not law clerks, paralegals, more important, who worked on this case. And I want to also thank the victims and their families, because without them, we could not have pursued this case. And it takes a lot of courage to step forward when you may be at risk for deportation yourself. So thank all of you very much for standing up. A little bit of background. This lawsuit focused on 18 families who were defrauded by ALS. And as we said, some of them will be here to speak. This is how this scam worked. ALS employees, as I said, held themselves out as attorneys, claiming they were there to help people file their applications and navigate what we all know is a very complex and labyrinthine network of immigration law. The company instead took upfront fees and ripped them off. They made false promises of citizenship. They claimed to have a special influence with the Immigration and Nationalization Service. And they gave these people the impression, in many cases, that they were eligible for green cards when they were not. They also charged exorbitant fees. And once they had that money, they routinely acted against the interest of those that they had been asked to help. They even forged signatures and broke every rule and every duty that a legitimate immigration consultant has. So this was a morally bankrupt enterprise. Its actions were extremely harmful to Oakland families and to our community. A few examples, actually two, highlight the tragedies here. Victor Gomez and his wife went to ALS for help after living in the United States for 40 years, working here, paying taxes, and raising their children here. Mr. Gomez was a union iron worker. Mr. Gomez and his wife were deported. Rafael Casanova, who will speak shortly, is another tragic case. ALS duped his wife and daughter into returning to Mexico, saying that they could easily secure legal residency here through the Mexican consulate. Then ALS filed the wrong petitions, resulting in a ruling barring his wife from entering this country for 10 years. This is such an outrageous outcome. Mr. Casanova is a United States citizen. His two daughters are US citizens. Based on their marriage, his wife should have been eligible for legal residency. Instead, the family has been split up and broken. So they lost a lot more than money. They lost their family units. Given the records we have seen, it is likely that this is the tip of the iceberg, and there are many of these rackets ongoing. And therefore, this is a very widespread problem. I want to encourage victims and potential victims to contact our office and ask for the Neighborhood Law Corps, 510-238-36, public service announced, 3601, or Centro Legal de la Raza at 510-437-1554. This judgment is also a message that we want to send to any other companies who are interested in doing this kind of work or who are doing it now, that we will track you down, we will shut down these operations, and we will recover for these victims the money that they've expended, that you have illegally pocketed. To be honest, we don't expect to collect the entire $15.1 million. We don't know if they have that many assets, but we have already collected over $200,000 from the insurance company defendants. And we have enough money at this point to provide restitution for all the victims of the money that they paid to ALS. And they will also receive an additional $7,600 out of the pot. We are researching as we speak the assets to see what kinds of assets are available in this country, and we will seek to recover as much as we can. But I think what's important here is, one, we're sending this message that we want this to stop. And I think it's also important for people to understand how this kind of activity undermines the entire immigration system in our country. And it also creates distrust of lawyers and other legal services so that people will not be inclined to pursue status in this country legally. So with that, how much time do you have, council member? Did you have to go to rules? Okay, so I wanted to first ask Mr. Casanova to step forward and give a few remarks. As I indicated, he was victimized here. Thank you.
Ma'am. Hello, everyone. What an epic adventure. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous, but I want to thank the city of Oakland and the city attorneys, especially Justin Ishioka. That was an amazing thing that I ever seen in my life, and a really incredible experience. Personally, it brings me a lot of peace to know that we should feel protected, that we are, here, and that we are here. We need to be listened, and this is a very, very good thing that has just happened for all of us. I finally feel a little more of a healing, even though my family we got broken up, but knowing that we had succeeded in this long fight, 4 years fighting, finally came to a conclusion that we were right, and justice has been done. And I really want to thank you, Jesse Newman, Anna, and Alex, especially Justin Ishioka, Greg, and everybody here for the wonderful work they've done for all of us. And that's all I can say. Thank you. Excuse me? Rafael, R-A-F-L, Casanova, C-A-S-A-N-O.